Hi guys, welcome back. Today we've got the leg behind the head series. Before we start this, there's a few things I want you to be aware of. So we're going to try and make these, we're going to do a series of hip openers, but I want them to be done actively. So the way we're going to do that is by, one thing is activating our ankles. So it's dorsiflexion. So you want to try and pull the top of the foot toward your shin bone. The next thing is you're also going to activate your knee flexors. So if you imagine if you took your hand behind your knee and you tried to squeeze your hand with the hamstring and the calf muscle. Also, activate the hip flexors by lifting the knees upwards. So if I bring my hands on my knees and lift up and resist with the hands, that's going to activate my hip flexors. So when we bend forward, we want to be activating the ankles, the backs of the knees, and the hip flexors, as well as the abdominal muscles. Imagine like you're doing an abdominal crunch. You're trying to bring your chest, your rib cage, your thighs together. Okay, so we'll go into that series now. Starting with simple cross leg position. So you take your left ankle under your right knee and the right foot in front, feet flexed, activate the knees and the hip flexors. Bring your hands forward, just take a breath in. Try to move from your hip joint. So you're extending the lower back as you go forward, inhaling and then exhale and go forward and activating the feet, the knees, and the hip flexors, as well as your abdominal muscles. So you really want to compress your legs and your chest together. Also spread the shoulders away from the ears, and you can just let the head come down to the floor, keep the back of the neck relaxed. Just take a few breaths here. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, compress, and inhale, come up, and we'll change sides. So as you change sides, do it without using your hands. You're starting to train your legs to go into the movement. Come onto the front edge of the sitting bones, flexing the feet, bring the hands forward. Let's take a breath in, moving from the hips as you inhale, and exhale, go forward, flexing the feet, squeezing the backs of the knees, lifting the knees up toward the armpits, at the same time pressing your armpits down toward the knees. You can bring the head between the arms, smooth, calm, relaxed breathing. Take one more breath in, and exhale, compress, and inhale, come up, and we'll go into ankle to knee pose. So you're going to cross your foot on top of the knee, come onto the front edge of the sitting bones, feet dorsiflexed. Bring the hands forward, inhale, moving from the hips, extending the spine. Exhale, go forward. Walking the hands forward, spread the shoulders away from the ears. Again, flexing the feet, squeezing the backs of the knees, and lift the knees up. As you compress the spine, moving the chest tightly into the legs. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, compress, and inhale to come up, and we change sides. Again, without using the hands, taking the right foot under left knee, left foot comes on top, come onto the front edge of the sitting bones, flexing the feet, Bring the hands forward. Take a breath in, extending the spine. And then exhale. Come forward, spread the shoulders. Flex the feet. Squeeze the backs of the knees. And lift the knees up toward the armpits. As you flex the spine, bringing the chest and the shin bones closer together. Relax the back of the neck, smooth, calm, relaxed breathing. Take one more breath in. Exhale fully. And inhale to come up. Then from here we're going to go into Pigeon Pose. So you can keep the right leg where it is. Just take the left leg back. Ideally trying to get into the position as best you can without using your hands. And then stretch the hands forward. Take a breath in. And then slowly stretching forward. I like to cross the arm here, so we'll bring the left arm across, coming onto the shoulder. Press the palm of the hand down and take the side of the head to the floor. Activating the foot, the back of the knee, and trying to lift the knee up toward the ceiling. You can also enhance this position by lifting the left knee, the back leg, lifting the knee off the floor. And then coming up, and we'll take that hand forward and across, so you feel a stretch through the side of the body. After a few breaths there, come up, and you might want to just move the foot a little bit further forward if you can. Activating through the foot, the back of the knee, and the hip. You're going to go into a twist. Bring your left hand across onto the knee, and then take that right hand back. And this is where you really need to start working actively to support the position. And you can make it even more intense by lifting that back knee off the floor. After a few breaths there, I'm going to release the hands, and for me this is one of the gauges as to whether a person can actually do a leg behind the head, is being able to support themselves in this position with the hands off the floor. Okay, this teaches you how to use your legs and your spine to support the position. So we spend a few breaths there, and then release, take the hands to the floor, inhale and exhale, step it back to the downward dog, and we'll just walk the dog a little. Bending the knees, and then stepping the left foot forward. As you step the foot forward, try to do it actively, bringing that left foot up behind the hand, the shin bone parallel to the front edge of the mat, and then working the ankle, back of the knee, and the hip flexors. The back leg, try to lift that knee off the floor. And you just have to find the balance. You don't want to be too far on with this thigh rolling out to the side. You need to roll in a little bit, pubic bone rolling down between the legs. But at the same time, you don't want to be so far that the sitting bone has come off the floor. So you want to feel the thigh bone supported by the floor. And then we'll stretch forward. Let's take a breath in and exhale. Again, working the ankle, the knee, and the hip. And we go into our twist. Bring that right arm across. Use the left hand to press down on the wrist. You can just let the head relax, forehead to the floor. Or take the side of the face to the floor. After a few breaths, we come up and then stretch it to the side. Again, if you want to make it a deeper stretch, then lift that back knee off the floor. Take a few breaths there and come up, going into our twist. Bring the right hand to the knee. Start to activate the leg as you take the left hand back. Feeling that support coming through the left leg. Also engaging the right leg, lifting the knee off the floor. And then releasing and taking both hands back. Pull the shoulder blades together, extending the thoracic spine. Take a few breaths here. And then release. Take the hands to the floor. Inhale and exhale, stepping back to the dog. And we'll just walk the dog a little. And then inhaling and step your right foot forward to a lunge. And turn your foot out on a 45-degree angle. So your big toe is pointing towards the front right corner of your mat. And coming into a lunge, sinking the hips down, but lifting the back knee up. And then inhale and lift your head up. And exhale, take your head towards your foot. And then inhale, stretch your chin forward. And come up. So now we're going to start working towards putting our head behind our leg rather than the leg behind the head. So again, we inhale and then exhale, take your head to the foot and stretch the chin forward and come up. Let's take the hand behind the leg this time. So we inhale and then exhale. Start working that head behind the foot. And then again, just have to feel your way into it. So we inhale and then exhale. Take the head behind the leg. You can just notice that I've dropped this knee to the floor and I can roll onto the outer edge of the hip, or I can stay like this. You can also relax this arm. And so I'm working actively here through my ankle, the back of the knee, and also twisting so that I can get my head into this position. And it actually becomes quite comfortable just to hang out like this. And then to get out of it, hands to the floor, press into the foot, and we take the head out. Inhaling and exhale, stepping back to the downward dog. And then inhale, step the left foot forward, and we turn the foot out on that 45-degree angle to the lunge, sinking the hips down low. And do the other side. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head comes toward the heel. And then inhale, head up. And then we take the hand behind the foot. Again, inhale, and then exhale. Moving the ribs out of the way. And start working the head behind the foot. Once more, inhale, and then exhale, we twist. And bring the head behind the leg. Just spend a few breaths here. Get comfortable. You can relax the back leg. Take the hands back. And then after a few breaths, pressing into the floor and taking the head out. So we inhale and exhale, stepping it back and just walking the dog a little. Come down onto the knees. Okay, so now let's try to put all that together into our leg behind the head, Ekapada Shirsasana. So we come to downward dog, and we jump through. And the leg comes over the shoulder. So here I create the same shape that we had in the cross-leg position. So I dorsiflex the ankle, I activate the back of the knee, have this external rotation and the hip flexion. And I keep that shape as I take the leg behind the head, and I use my abdominal muscles to twist and to compress so that I can get my head behind the leg. So inhale, and then twist, and exhale. You come into the leg behind the head. And you can see that I have to just make small adjustments, twisting so I get comfortable there. And the techniques I've used in those leg behind the head, the warm-up, allows me to stay here comfortably. So I've learned how to extend my spine and also how to use my leg to keep the leg in position when I take the hands away. Otherwise, the leg often ends up flying off like that, or you end up feeling like this. So we want to move actively into these positions to keep them safe. Here. Then again, when we stretch forward, free up the ribs, coming forward, keeping the leg active, keeping the spine extending. Reach forward. 5 breaths, exhale, activating the abdominal muscles, and coming up. Exhaling in, hands to the floor, inhale, lift up. And exhale, jump back. You want to be careful with your jump backs out of those leg behind the head positions that you don't collapse in the lower back. So when you jump back, make sure you have a good chaturanga. And you can spend a few extra breaths in your upward dog just to release the spine after all that forward bending. Inhale and exhale, rolling back, walk the dog a little, and we'll do the other side. So inhale, jump, and straight away I create that shape, the dorsiflexion of the ankle, activating the back of the knee, the hip flexors, the external rotation. And as I take the leg behind the head, I twist, compress the spine, the thigh and the chest toward each other, and then I extend the spine so I can sit nice and straight. Inhale and exhale, go forward. Again, just twisting a little, extending, and just finding the balance between keeping everything active, but also relaxed. Take our 5 breaths here. Exhale. Activate the abdominal muscles to stabilize the spine. And then inhale to come up. Exhale there. And inhale and lift up. Exhale, jump back. Being careful as you land in chaturanga to land with good form. And going to our upward facing dog. Just take a few extra breaths here if you need it. And exhaling back to the downward dog, and just walk the dog a little. And that is the leg behind the head series.